Welcome back everyone to more Motorsport Manager Online. And in our most recent video, we got our first chance to see what would happen as we've now moved into Tier 4 in the lowest division there with just okay drivers and an okay car. And we came away with 27 points and a rather good event overall, all things being considered. Well, now we still have the same drivers, but now we have a great car. We are full performance, 1,839 on both cars here. I have been able to build all of the parts and pieces necessary to maximize performance here in the G class of Tier 4. So we're going to get a chance to see how we can perform now with those. We need a total of 145 points for promotion. And as we reach the last couple of videos here in this series, I really want to reach this next promotion level and see just how we can do. Now, we're just at Tier 4. There are multiple tiers beyond this, but at this point, that's just going to take way too long for the time we have allotted for this particular series. So we're going to make do with the very best we've got, and we want to get some more wins. And if at all possible, we want to sweep the top 2 spots on the podium. Now, as far as sponsors and the free money, we're good to go on both of those. You can see the HQ. We're actually doing an upgrade. We're going from HQ level 5 up to level 6, and that will give us an additional opportunity to hire 40 staff. Now, right now, we don't really need 40 additional staff. We've got 100 staff that are free to work on projects, but whenever you're working on new parts and pieces, that's going to take staff. And then if you're working on new HQ projects, that's going to take staff, and that's where you need the maximum number of staff that you can possibly get. And then, of course, along the way, every time you want to assign new drivers or simply re-up with the drivers you have, you're going to need additional staff, because the higher level drivers you get, the better drivers want more staff. So maximizing the number of staff you have is definitely a great idea anytime you can get the opportunity. So it looks like everything is taken care of here on the main screen. Let's head to the track. And it looks like our first track of the day will be at Sydney. Again, a high chance of rain. We got some long straightaways here. And our bonus objective, well, they get right to it, don't they? First or above. So I'm not sure what the above is there, but they are expecting great things from us. Now, we're going to use our standard soft tires and medium tires here, at least when it's not raining. That is, it looks like we're clear for the first few laps of the race, but I'm thinking about swapping that up here. And we've seen what happens so far with this combination. I want to see one more time now that we've got our new components on the car. But then I want to swap that up a little bit. So 2nd and 19th, so not terribly surprising, but I would still like to see Robert do a little bit better. All right, let's move this around just a little bit. All right, so let's go ahead and do 5 laps here at the beginning for Jessica. We're going to stay neutral with Robert and see if he can't get through a little bit of traffic, hopefully. So for right now, let's go ahead and focus on Jessica. Wow, this is moving so slow. I've been playing the PC version quite a bit here recently, and things are just, there we go. Now things are starting to speed up a little bit. But yeah, with being able to use the dynamic speed on the PC version, it is so nice to have that option. Of course, you can't do that here in the multiplayer. So 9 laps total, and Jessica has decided she's going to run right out to the lead, even though she is doing anything but pushing hard here early on. All right, McGinnis, he is doing quite well, I would have to say. In 12th position. Now remember, the bonus on his tires, even though he's on the medium tire, basically turned them into soft tires for performance purposes. So he's crawling his way up through about halfway through the field at this point. He's going to be doing a 4-lap stint, so we're going to keep a close eye on him as he moves his way through the field as best he can early on here in the race. All right, we've already seen, wow, Jessica's out to about a 3-second lead here at the front of the pack. And things really getting jammed up here in the middle of the field for Robert. All right, still in 10th place, so certainly doing a great job here. Let's take a look at the tire wear, and you can see everybody is in deep trouble as far as tires, except for our two cars in the top 10. Meanwhile, we've got, of course, pit stops are going to be starting this lap for most of the top 10, in fact, nearly all of them. But we're still looking quite nice. All right, so lap 4, and we know that is our cue for our very first pit stop. We're going to go medium tire here. We've moved up into 4th, but a huge lead right now for Jessica, so she is just cruising at this point. We're going to keep Robert at the standard level, just neutral driving style right now. But then as soon as he comes into the pits, we'll move him down so that he can run his final stint. There we go. We'll move him to conserve. All right, lap 5 is underway. So let's queue up the pit stop for Jessica. You can see she's down to 10%, so she's definitely going to be right down near 0 when she comes into the pits. But still, overall, should not be much of an issue at all. She's got about a 28-second lead, which doesn't mean a whole lot right now until we see just how everybody's strategy works out. You can see she actually made it down to 0 there. So we're going to turn her up to neutral. All right, and at this point, you can see 29-second lead. She's not coming back into the pits, so that is very important for her. And let's get a check on, let's see how Mr. McGinnis is doing in 7th position. And he's got at least 2 guys in front of him that are going to be coming into the pits here very soon. All right, so we like to see that. So we know there's a couple of spots we're getting off of that into the top 5. Okay, not bad at all. And not sure about these other guys with the hard tires and the medium tire. Look like they're probably going to make it all the way pretty easily on their tires. But here you go. Here's 2 pit stops happening now. And that's going to put us within 3 seconds of 4th position. So you can see 4th position just ahead of us there on the track. So I think that is very doable. In fact, we're closing in pretty quickly on 4th position, so I like that. All right, this should definitely be a good enough finish to get him his next driver upgrade. All right, so as we get ready to begin the final lap of the race, or excuse me, no, 2 laps to go for Robert. We have absolutely no trouble out front. We're 28 seconds out ahead, so she is absolutely just cruising at this point. Really want that 4th position right now simply because it's right there. And I'm not really going to push anything because at this point it's not a huge deal. We'll simply use the high power since we've got it to use at this point here on the final lap. But we'll leave a little bit of suspense, since most of the suspense was gone quite a while ago with... Oh, can we get it done? All right, I'm going to have to turn down the engine. I thought we could get it done. There we go. Now we're in position to make that pass. Now I can turn it back down to medium. All right, so as Monroe, you can see she is way down on tire, but it just simply doesn't matter at this point. She brings home the victory. Plenty of tire here for Robert as he is trying to bring home a top 4. Not quite going to make it to the podium unless we catch 3rd position, which we're just simply going to run out of time as he was running out of tire. So not bad race overall. You can see we're going to come home with 37 points of a maximum of 39. So it's hard to do a whole lot better than that. So in this next race, we're going to mix things up a little bit, and at this point, we've got a great idea of exactly what we can do with this particular strategy. We've used it several times, and it has turned out great. So now we're going to mix things up a little bit and just see exactly what happens. So 37 more points should be plenty of XP for Robert to get his next upgrade. And that puts us now ever closer to our next promotion. So we'll go ahead and continue on, because now we need to find out, first and foremost, what kind of parts and pieces. Oh wow, this is very nice. Some more copper, gears, several pieces of sheet metal, and then a little bit of electronics as well. So we'll definitely take that. Very nice indeed. So once again, it looked like the one-stop strategy was used by everybody in the top 6. Then we see 7th place doing the two-stop strategy. But again, overall, not bad at all. So now let's move forward to get our first opportunity to make some repairs on one of our parts. Probably no reason to do any repairs on the performance side of things, since they're all brand new parts. But we do want to get the reliability as high as we possibly can, so that we can push anytime as needed. Okay, so there's a -3, -2s, -3s. All right, so it looks like it's going to be either the brakes or the suspension. I'm going to go with the suspension, no particular reason. Everything should be perfectly fine. You can see 72%, 74%, and overall, we're basically right where we started the race on performance. Not enough difference there to really make much of a difference. Now we're going to make our way back to the main screen and get ready for our next race. All right, so contract expired. Oh, okay. Didn't realize we had run down to the final race, but let's go ahead and see if we can take care of this. Now, last time I wanted to re-up with a driver, it didn't turn out so well. So we're going to hope it turns out better this time. But I'm going to be stubborn about a few things that we're simply not going to yield on, because at the end of the day, we can always get a new driver signed. So that is not a huge issue. And the thing I'm not going to yield on is I'm simply going to continue with this 15 race deal. The money means absolutely nothing to me, so we're going to go full 940. And let's go ahead and give him 70. Well, wait, he's at 80 right now. Never mind. Let's give him a little bit extra. That's probably what he's going to need in order to keep going. But I think this is a pretty good deal. Now, it might be a little bit different story if we were talking about the PC version and the number of races, but not here online. And there you go. Accepted. So that's really the only thing I cared about. The rest of it was a non-issue. So that's going to give us 15 more races with him. We're at level 5 XP. We needed 5 more XP to get that done. I was so looking forward to getting another upgrade with him in today's video, but not going to happen. You can see our number of staff goes down a little bit as we gave him some additional staff. But again, not a huge deal overall. We got 3 more races remaining with Jessica, and hopefully that'll be enough to get us through that promotion level and seal the deal on this particular series here on the channel. So looks like everything is underway. Of course, we got a long time on this HQ upgrade. Parts and pieces look good. Let's head back to the track. Next up for today is the Black Sea. A fairly high chance of rain at 28%. We've got a winding circuit, which means that overtaking is going to be difficult. Once again, bonus objective, first or above. So we'll work on that above. Now, right now, I talked about changing up our bonuses, and I decided to leave them like they were for one more race simply because of the points. When I saw where we were in the points and how many additional points we were going to need, I think it times out pretty good to begin next video with that change to our strategy and our bonuses. And then we'll run one more video and see, hopefully we'll have enough to get where we need to go from there with the different strategies. You can see we qualified on the pole and 15th place. Now we need 5 laps to make it on one stop. So let's go ahead and do conservative with both, because we'll need just that amount in order to make this happen. Again, very slow at the start, cars everywhere. We're going to see how things go. Let's lock in on Jessica and see if she can stay at the top or very close as we try to get these things squared away. Now, my guess at this point, even though we are fighting for the lead right now, and you can see we've lost a couple of spots since the beginning, My guess is that nobody here at the front of the pack is going to go a one-stop strategy on these soft tires. We should be the only ones. And if you're looking for confirmation of that, take a look at where their tire wear is already versus where our tire wear is. So we've got Robert has moved up. Well, I was going to say he moved up a few spots. Now he's given all of those back. But again, that's okay because we know pit stops are coming and strategies will be revealed here very shortly. So Jessica just minding her own business because she knows probably next time around we're going to see some pit stops starting. And even as we do that, she is moving back toward the front. There you go. Lots and lots of cars. In fact, basically the entire top 10 or so. In fact, more than that. Top 12. Except for our cars come into the pits. So there's your first glimpse at what type of strategies we're going to be running. They could still do a one-stop strategy if they put on the medium or the hard tire. But we're going to have the advantage of those bonuses. So now lap 5 is beginning. Let's go ahead and queue up the pit stops again. Hopefully we don't get any weather to mess this up, but as long as we don't, then everything should be perfectly fine. Tires running down really low. And here we go. Just enough to get into the pits without running completely out of tire. And even if we had hit 0 on the tire, it probably wasn't going to be for long enough to matter a whole lot on the stopwatch. So this will move Robert up through the field at least a little bit. Now it's going to put him in a fairly tight group here around 7th to 10th. And meantime, we are looking very good at the front of the field. We've got 2nd and 3rd are going to need another pit stop here fairly quickly. There you can see 3rd and 5th coming in this lap. 2nd position is going to be coming in probably this next time by. So everything is playing out according to plan. So as far as I'm concerned, these strategies are perfectly fine. But like I said, for our what will probably be our last video for this series, we're going to mix things up a little bit and just see what happens when we get rid of some of these bonuses and choose some different ones. All right, yeah, we're out to a 20-second lead at the front. Now, we do have soft tires behind us, but unless they are just amazingly fast, they've got no shot at catching us. Meanwhile, I was expecting Robert to move up a little bit more than this. So let's move to the back here. Oh yeah, he is in a huge group of cars. This is more cars than you would really expect to see at this point in the race. But he's moved up to 6th, so it looks like 5th is doable right now. And I'm keeping an eye out on his engine here since he should have plenty just in case we need it for the final lap. Looks like he's going to make this pass pretty easily. So as we come to the final lap, we need 0.27 to use it for the entire lap. So I'm simply going to let it go just a little bit, and then we'll use it now. Go ahead and turn that on. So let's see what he's got. We need just enough tires. So can he get him in that last corner? Oh, he is so close. If I turned that on just a little bit earlier, we would have probably made it. But either way, 1st and 5th, and once again, mid-30s in points, so we are moving right along toward our quest to move up yet another class here in tier number 4. All right, so finally, again, some different names here on the podium. We've seen Kelvin before, but as long as they're not all the same drivers that we're using, then I consider it pretty awesome. So now, this will reveal sort of what I was thinking in preparing for this final race of today's video and looking ahead to tomorrow's video. So we need 145 points in the championship. We now we're now sitting at 100, earning 36 additional points. So we need 45 points to move forward, and we should easily be able to get that, barring any sort of catastrophe, such as me forgetting to do pit stops. or weather coming in that catches me off guard, we should be perfectly fine to make that happen in tomorrow's video. But total earnings, $650,000, 150 for the bonus, 100,000 for Robert's driver trait, and 400K for the race purse. Now, Robert, this time he got his 5 XP, so we'll be able to do an upgrade for him. That'll give us an opportunity to spend some more money. And we've got a new driver trait, happy driver trait. Happy drivers is always a good thing, and that gives us even more qualifying and race speed. Yes, we will take that anytime we can get it. Now we get, some more silicone. Okay, I believe we've seen that maybe one other time to this point. Then we've got our gears, copper wire. Okay, everything is looking great there. Always appreciate anytime we can get some more materials. All right, so let's go ahead and move our way forward. Again, not too terribly worried about those leaderboards. Does get us a little bit of a bonus every week, but just not a huge amount. Generally seems to be about the same amount as you get with a small sponsor most of the time, maybe a little bit more than that. All right, so let's see which parts and pieces. We already know Jessica has one part, the brakes that we didn't get to fix last time, and that would appear to be the lowest part that we have. So let's just go ahead and fix that one again. Didn't overall seem to be all that big of a deal in either of the races that we've seen so far. We'll go ahead and confirm that, move back, and it's time for a driver upgrade. So upgrade to level 5, that means 6 more points that we can spend, and we're going to run right over here to the smoothness and spend them here. That moves us up to 85. Really like these numbers. This is awesome. 576,000. And once again, pretty much a non-issue even with that amount of money. That's going to take us down to 3.28 million. That moves Robert up to a 79 overall, and prize money is now at a level 3. All good things, and that is one of the reasons why I really enjoy doing those upgrades, even for the drivers that we might not be keeping around very much longer. Really enjoy doing those upgrades. So that's going to do it for today. Another very successful day at the racetrack. We're now sitting at 100 points. We need 145 for our next promotion and move out of the G class. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more Motorsport Manager Online.